Welcome to the Maven Marketing Podcast. Today is Maven Monday. I'm your host, Brandon Welch, and I'm here with Caleb.
Can't think of one, can you?
Knit sweater Agee. Caught me off guard. It usually doesn't take me that long.
Yeah.
That is a fine knit sweater you're wearing.
Well, thank you. It was very cold today.
It was.
Unseasonably
Unseasonably warm,
March.
then unseasonably cold. Yep. 80-mile-an-hour winds.
Woo.
Yep. Hey, this is the place where we answer your real-life marketing questions so you can eliminate waste in advertising, grow your business, and achieve the big dream. And this is another installment of the Maven Marketing Podcast called I Don't Know Who Needs to Hear This, but keep showing up.
Keep showing up.
Yes. I don't know who needs to hear this, but these are our 10-minute segments. And this is just something that kept coming out of my mouth the last couple of weeks. On two ends of the spectrum. We have two clients that started on some of these plans that we talked to you guys about, just showing up in the lives of tomorrow customers. We'll put some episodes in the comments. If this happens to be your first episode of the Maven Marketing Podcast, you need to know about the tomorrow customer because it is the secret to becoming filthy rich.
Mm-hmm.
Says the $11 billion study from Les Bennett and Peter Fields, the largest study ever conducted on advertising. Winning the tomorrow customer is the secret to health and wealth of a growing business.
Yep.
And many, many millionaires from the Maven method that started as little tiny businesses. But here's the thing. A couple of these guys have had the courage. Two different markets I'm thinking of. Tulsa is one of them, and North Carolina is another one. Not small markets, right? These are markets that take a lot of effort, a lot of consistency to become a household name. And they started doing this a couple of years ago. And just over the last couple of weeks, we're just seeing some incredible fruits.
Yeah.
I'm talking with one of them literally doubling the size of their business. And it just happened. It's like, oh, wait, when did that happen? It's like it didn't feel like it was happening for a long time.
Yeah.
But they kept showing up, kept showing up, right?
Even during the winter?
Even during the winter.
Even during the off season?
Wait, during Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah. New Year's Eve?
Yeah.
4th of July? Yeah. So we're like celebrating and high-fiving with these guys. We're like, hey, this is what happens when you keep showing up. Similarly, we have another, like just a newer, company to this method, if you will. And they're like, well, we're 6 months in. We're not seeing much. What do we need to change?
Mm-hmm.
And what's our answer?
Keep showing up.
Keep showing up. Keep showing up. And so it just struck me. It's like, this is the dumbest thing. If you've read Atomic Habits, you know the secret to 1% better every day. If you've studied anybody of success or sustained success, and I'm talking about people who've built things, they'll tell you it's not all that sexy. It's the same advice your grandma and grandpa would have given you, but just little consistencies over time create this monumental snowball effect.
Yeah.
This mutual fund effect. And so I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but keep showing up. You have a business that the world needs to know about. You have a mission and a culture and a heart for your people that needs to be realized. And none of those things, none of those big impact things happen overnight.
Yeah.
You have a better way of doing things. You have a more innovative, more adaptable way of serving people. You have a good way, a solid, wholesome way of doing things in your marketplace. And I know if you're listening to the Maven Marketing Podcast, that's true about you because birds of a feather flock together, and you're a bird.
And
we're a bird.
And we have feathers.
and this analogy is getting off track, but what I'm saying is, guys, keep showing up. This podcast is a example of that. Did you know we're a few weeks away from 100 episodes?
It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, almost congratulations.
Almost.
Don't quit now. Keep showing up. Caleb.
Keep showing up, Brandon.
And why did we do this? Like, I'm ranting right now. Caleb's going to bring this all home for you in just a second. But we have such a heart for the entrepreneur who is trying to grow her thing or his thing. And there's so many of these distractions. There's so many of these, shiny objects that get in the way of doing the actual thing. And this podcast was something we tried to do for 2 or 3 years. And back in 2023, we finally started it, and we said, dadgummit, we're going to show up.
Mhm.
And we had no expectations for revenue, although tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in opportunities have come because of this podcast for
Mhm.
our company. Was never an expectation.
No.
As of this week, for the first time, somebody reached out wanting to advertise on this podcast. Can I
Pretty
get
crazy.
a woot woot?
Woot woot.
What you're like? You have advertising prowess. Okay?
Yeah.
People want to put a sign on your
Just
forehead.
just by my forehead.
Mine was too expensive.
It's a lot. It's a lot of real estate.
Yeah, and but we never did it for that. We did it because we believe in you. We believe in what you're doing, and it's just so cool to look up after doing that and go, wow, we've been showing up for almost 2 years, right?
Mhm.
Every week.
Yeah, and it just makes sense when you think about anything that becomes healthy in life happens because of consistency, because you show up over and over and over again. Anything that matures well, anything that has strength. So think about your health. You can't randomly become healthy or fit or
Can't wait
strong.
till you wake up to decide if you're gonna work out or eat well.
Yeah, it happens, consistently over time. Some sort of regular thing. It happens in relationships. You see that consistency. And
even when it's not like ideal for you, you keep showing up.
yeah. Yep. And I think that's the thing we have to remember is if we want it to be strong, it has to be something we show up to all the time.
Dave Ramsey says this a lot.
Yeah.
One day you're going to be an overnight success.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to show up the same way for 5 years, and then suddenly you're going to be an overnight success.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I don't steal your microphone from you like I just did.
That's
Caleb.
all right. Yeah.
What were you going to say? Sorry.
James Clear says, we got a couple quotes for you just to inspire you today. This morning while you're driving to work or you're going for a jog maybe because you're getting strong. I don't know.
Yeah, you are.
James Clear, your outcomes are a lagging measure of your habits. You get what you repeat. You get what you repeat.
Love it.
Should I say it one more time? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, we're going to do that in a minute. You are what you repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Aristotle. Aristotle. The Aristotle.
The Aristotle. He tutored Alexander the Great. Fun fact.
Yes, he did.
Thank you, my kids' schooling.
Yes. Thank you, homeschool.
Robert Collier says, constant repetition carries conviction. You see somebody who has that repetitiveness, they are so steady and they show up every day the same way.
Yep.
There's a conviction that you sense about them. They're like on mission all the time.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you look at these people and you go, wow, they must be really passionate people. They have such passion and motivation and drive. And it's like, actually,
they're the most steady
not
person.
really. Like
Yeah.
we think of them as these big slingshot, like heroic moments. And that very, very rarely leads to success on its own. Because you've put in the consistent movements, because you've shown up to your audience, because you've shown up for your wife or your kids or your church or your ministry or your family, then you become this heroic person that one day doing what you would have done anyway, just this moment happens that it happens to be a heroic moment, but you were showing up all along, right? It's not usually these James Bond-like adventures that create heroes. It's the character, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Constant repetition carries conviction. I love that. You want to be a convicted person. I love that one. Go ahead. What did Elizabeth Arden say? This one's interesting.
She
to me.
says, repetition makes reputation, and reputation makes customers.
Yeah. What are you known for? Like, what are you that's the business that always does what? They say things a certain way. They end things a certain way. We've talked about my guy, like, that cleans my carpets for a lot of money. He's the highest priced guy in town, but he always leaves a fresh baked loaf of bread. What is your repeated what does your repetition say about your reputation?
Now I'm going to fail to name the book properly here, but it's What Are You Known For, I believe, or What Are You For is the name of the book, something like that. Guy, he's used to be a marketing executive for Chick-fil-A, a couple of sports franchises. Brandon's going to Google it real quick while I'm talking. But big setup he has is, what do you want to be known for? And he talks about, as a company, what do you want to be known for? And having a time where you guys write that down and you say, what do we want to be known for? And then the next question, which stings a little bit, is what are we actually known for? And the distance between those two things is what you've got to work on. That's where you need to show up consistently. And so I'd encourage you, this quote speaks directly to that, which is repetition makes reputation. You have a reputation for something. You are known for something, and reputation makes customers. Hopefully a good reputation.
Say what this guy's known for is his name, because it's an awesome name.
What
Rick Kua.
Yeah.
Kua. Right.
Kua.
He wrote the book, What Are You Known For? Building Your Legacy One Brick at a Time.
Mm-hmm. Good book. I recommend it. I'm only halfway through it, but I do recommend the first half of the book.
I do recommend you read at least half of it.
Mm-hmm.
So why is this so hard? Why is this worth even talking about, pointing out? It is very fashionable to do new things, to do progressive things, to do more with less, to somehow hack the system. And you know what? That does happen in some ways, but it never replaces, in my experience, of all of the hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs I've had a very, deep working relationship with. I've never seen any of them get very far, past like startup phase, with a change the script mentality, with a we gotta change it mentality. It's the ones that keep showing up, and maybe they're not doing the most whimsical things. They're just doing the consistent things.
That's it.
Bill Bernbach, we may land it on this note. He was a very famous advertising guy, art director, back in probably the Mad Men era. But he said this in a very succinct way. Human nature hasn't changed for 1,000,000 years. It won't even change in the next 1,000,000 years. Only the superficial things have changed. It is very fashionable to talk about the changing man. A communicator, though, must be concerned with the unchanging man. What compulsions drive him, what instincts dominate his every action, even though his language too often camouflages what really motivates him. And what he's saying is like, we want to assign, the new technology, ChatGPT changes, it's going to change forever the way people buy. Amazon changed the way people buy. No, people have a void. They already have a void. They walk around with a need, pain, hope, or fear that needs an answer. And if you are the answer, and the most trusted answer, and the answer that's been showing up all along, they will think of you first. They will feel good about you. They will choose you. They will refer their friends and family to you. And on the topic of sales or media or marketing or advertising or social media or leadership or culture, all I want you to do is keep showing up.
Hey, forward this episode to somebody who needs to hear it today. They need a little encouragement. They need to.
They're a weary warrior.
Yeah, maybe pull out of a rut. If you were sent this, it doesn't mean that they think poorly of you. It means they wanted to encourage you today. Yeah. So
they want to encourage you to keep being you.
Yeah,
keep being you, Caleb.
You're carrying something, and keep up the big fight, the good fight. And if you loved it, I would encourage you to follow, subscribe, whatever that is for your platform, and rate it. That helps us to help more people, more entrepreneurs and marketers to grow their business without wasting advertising.
We underestimate what we can do in 2 years. We overestimate what we can do in 2 years. Yep. We grossly underestimate what can happen in 10. Keep showing up. We will keep showing up. Every Monday, we'll be back answering your real-life marketing questions, because marketers who cannot teach you why
are just a fancy lie.
Have a great week.